While Australia has produced many revered muscle cars, there have also been some models that, due to design quirks, marketing decisions or other factors, have garnered a reputation for being a bit silly or less than stellar. Here are 10 Australian muscle cars that might be considered more quirky and amusing. 1. Leyland P76 Force 7V. The Leyland P76 Force 7V is a huge misstep in the world of Australian muscle cars. Initially set to debut in 1975, this two-door hatchback was intended to be Leyland's response to the dominant Holden, Ford and Chrysler models. While the P76 sedan aimed to be the ultimate big Aussie family car, the Force 7V was designed to inject some sporty flair into the lineup. It came with a 4.4-litre V8 engine, which should have made it a competitive muscle car. The car featured innovative design elements, including a large rear hatchback that offered a surprisingly spacious cargo area, enough to fit a double mattress with the seats folded down. Despite its innovative features, the Force 7V was plagued by quality control issues, leading to its reputation as a lemon among enthusiasts. Leyland had ambitious plans for the Force 7V, producing 56 prototypes before the project was abruptly halted due to financial troubles with the parent company in the UK. This decision left only 10 of these rare coupes to escape the corporate crusher, making it a true collector's item today. Adding to its woes, the timing of its release coincided with the 1974 oil crisis, which dampened interest in large V8-powered vehicles. As a result, the Force 7V never gained the traction it needed in the market. The remaining prototypes were auctioned off, often fetching far less than anticipated, highlighting the disconnect between Leyland's expectations and the reality of consumer interest. Today, the Leyland P76 Force 7V is celebrated for its quirky design and rarity. Its design was a quirky mix of sleek sports car lines and utilitarian hatchback practicality, which many found visually jarring. The few that survived are now rare collector's items, a testament to what could have been a game changer in the Australian muscle car market. Two, Holden Torana Sunbird. The Holden Torana Sunbird was an unusual entry in the world of muscle cars for Holden. Originally launched as part of the Torana lineup, the Sunbird variant was introduced in 1976 as a more economical four-cylinder alternative to the traditionally powerful Toranas. At its core, the Sunbird was an attempt to offer a budget-friendly option in a market dominated by high-performance V6 and V8 engines. What made the Sunbird particularly amusing was its lack of power. Muscle cars are typically celebrated for their robust engines and exhilarating speed, but the Sunbird fell short in this regard. It came equipped with a modest 1.9-litre four-cylinder engine, producing just 78 horsepower. This underwhelming performance made it the black sheep of the Torana family, as it simply couldn't deliver the thrilling drive expected from a muscle car. The design of the Sunbird also added to its quirky reputation. While it shared the same body style as its more powerful siblings, the underpowered engine and lack of distinctive muscle car features left it looking like an imposter. This disconnect between appearance and performance led to a perception that the Sunbird was simply a diluted version of what a true muscle car could be. But despite its shortcomings, the Sunbird found a niche audience among those seeking a more economical option within the Torana range. Its affordability and practicality appealed to a different demographic, but it never quite captured the hearts of muscle car purists. The Sunbird's legacy is a reminder of how marketing and consumer expectations can sometimes clash, resulting in a product that is more amusing than impressive. Three, Ford Falcon XB Hardtop Subaru. The Ford Falcon XB Hardtop, commonly known as the Subaru, is both iconic and a bit silly in its own right. Launched in the early 1970s, this vehicle was part of Ford's effort to dominate the Australian market with a sporty coupe that could compete with the likes of GM's Holden. The Subaru variant, however, took things a step further, transforming a classic muscle car into a vibrant spectacle of colour and character. The car featured a vibrant paint job adorned with large decals of a muscular kangaroo flexing its biceps, a playful and somewhat ridiculous representation of Australian pride. These graphics, while intended to make the car stand out, often led to it being viewed as more of a novelty than a serious muscle car. Underneath its whimsical exterior, the Subaru was a capable performer. It was equipped with a powerful 5.8-litre V8 engine, delivering impressive speed and acceleration. However, the serious performance capabilities were often overshadowed by the car's loud and somewhat garish appearance. The combination of high performance and cartoonish styling created a disconnect many found amusing. And while it certainly holds a place in the hearts of many classic car enthusiasts, it's often remembered for its outlandish looks more than its engineering prowess. The bold choice of graphics meant to embody Australia's spirit ended up making the car seem almost like a parody of itself. Four, Chrysler Centura GLX. The Chrysler Centura GLX, produced between 1975 and 1978, is a notable example of an ambitious design that missed the mark. Intended as a sporty version of the Centura, it faced criticism for its awkward styling and lackluster performance. The Centura was based on the Chrysler 180 model from Europe, but was modified to fit Australian tastes and conditions, including an extended nose to accommodate the larger Hemi 6 engines. However, the extended nose, meant to provide an aggressive look, often appeared disproportionate and awkward. This design choice was a practical necessity to house the bigger engine, but resulted in a front-heavy appearance that many found unattractive. The overall aesthetic of the car didn't fit the sleek and sporty image that muscle cars typically project. Performance-wise, the Centura GLX also did not live up to the expectations set by its sporty appearance. Despite being equipped with a 4-litre Hemi engine, the car struggled with traction, especially in wet conditions. The large engine, combined with the relatively light rear end, led to poor handling, making it a challenging drive for those expecting a true muscle car experience. The lack of a starter motor relay also caused frequent ignition switch failures, adding to its reputation for unreliability. Moreover, the Centura faced significant production delays due to union strikes against French nuclear testing in the Pacific, as the car bodies were imported from France. These delays, coupled with the car's performance issues and styling missteps, meant the Centura GLX never achieved the status its makers had hoped for. Instead, it remains a quirky design in the history of Australian muscle cars, remembered more for its peculiarities than its achievements. Five, Holden Commodore SS Group A SV. The Holden Commodore SS Group A SV, often nicknamed the Plastic Pig, is a memorable yet controversial entry in Australian muscle car history. Introduced in the late 1980s, this car was designed for Group A racing homologation and featured extensive body modifications. While these changes were intended to improve aerodynamics and performance, the resulting appearance left many enthusiasts divided. The car was decked out with large plastic bumpers, side skirts, and a massive rear spoiler, all painted in a striking shade of blue. This extensive use of plastic body parts earned it the unflattering nickname Plastic Pig. Many found the design unattractive and excessively flamboyant, which overshadowed its racing pedigree. Despite its polarizing looks, the SS Group A SV was a formidable performer on the track. It was powered by a 5-litre V8 engine producing around 241 horsepower, which was quite impressive for its time. However, the focus on racing homologation meant that everyday practicality and aesthetics took a back seat. The interior was stripped down and functional, lacking the comfort and refinement expected in a road car. Its performance credentials were undeniable, with a top speed of around 240 km an hour and a 0 to 100 km an hour time of approximately 6.5 seconds. However, the car's looks often made it the subject of jokes, detracting from its serious racing capabilities. The Plastic Pig's exaggerated styling and focus on racing performance made it an icon for some and a curiosity for others, solidifying its place in the annals of Australian muscle car history. Six, Chrysler Valiant Charger White Knight Special. The Chrysler Valiant Charger White Knight Special stands out not just for its performance, but also for its dramatic marketing and name. Released in the early 1970s, this limited edition was designed to capture the imaginations of car enthusiasts with its body styling and compelling name. While the Charger was already a well-regarded muscle car, the White Knight edition took things to a new level of theatricality. Chrysler promoted the car with an almost mythical narrative, presenting it as a heroic figure on the roads. This grandiose approach, complete with medieval-themed advertising, was seen by many as ostentatious and overly dramatic. The name White Knight itself, while evocative, contributed to the car's somewhat theatrical image. In terms of performance, the White Knight Special did not disappoint. It was powered by a high-output version of the Hemi 6 engine, offering strong acceleration and impressive speed. However, the focus on its heroic persona often overshadowed its mechanical credentials. The car came in a striking white paint with bold decals and stripes, further emphasizing its distinctive and somewhat ostentatious character. The interior of the White Knight Special was similarly bold, featuring high-contrast color schemes and unique trim options. This design choice, while eye-catching, added to the car's overall sense of being more about style than substance. Enthusiasts appreciated the car's performance, but the excessive branding and marketing narrative made it hard to take it entirely seriously. Seven, Holden Monaro HZ GTS. The Holden Monaro HZ GTS, released in the late 1970s, was a continuation of the Monaro legacy that had captured the hearts of Australian muscle car enthusiasts. However, compared to its predecessors, the HZ GTS was often seen as underwhelming. It was considered underpowered, and its conservative styling didn't help its case. Unlike the earlier models, which boasted powerful V8 engines that delivered exhilarating performance, the HZ GTS's engine options were seen as lackluster. The most powerful engine available was a 5-litre V8, which, while still decent, didn't deliver the same punch as its predecessors. This reduction in performance led many to view the HZ GTS as a step down rather than an evolution. Styling also played a significant role in the car's lukewarm reception. The HZ GTS adopted a more conservative design approach, which contrasted sharply with the bold and aggressive looks of earlier Monaros. The sleek, muscular lines were replaced with a more subdued and restrained appearance. While this might have appealed to a broader audience, it alienated the core muscle car fans who craved the audacious styling that the Monaro name had come to represent. Despite these shortcomings, the HZ GTS was not without its merits. It featured improved suspension and handling characteristics, making it a more comfortable and stable ride. The interior was also upgraded, offering more comfort and convenience features than previous models. However, these improvements were not enough to offset the disappointment in performance and styling. Its attempts to balance performance with practicality resulted in a car that many enthusiasts felt lacked the spirit and excitement of a true muscle car, making it a memorable yet flawed member of the Monaro family. 8. Ford Cortina XR6. The Ford Cortina XR6, introduced in the early 1980s, was an ambitious attempt to infuse sporty dynamics into the Cortina lineup. Designed primarily for the South African market, the XR6 was meant to offer enhanced performance and style. However, it struggled to live up to the expectations typically associated with muscle cars, as one of the key issues with the XR6 was its modest performance. It was powered by a 3-litre SX V6 engine, which produced around 138 horsepower. While this was a significant improvement over the standard Cortina models, it still fell short of the power output expected from a muscle car. The performance gains were noticeable, but not enough to compete with more established muscle cars of the era. Styling was another area where the XR6 fell short. While it featured some sporty elements, such as body aerofoils and sports seats, the overall design remained closely tied to the standard Cortina. This conservative approach to styling did little to differentiate the XR6 as a distinct and exciting model. It lacked the aggressive and eye-catching design cues that typically define muscle cars. Despite these limitations, the XR6 did have some redeeming qualities. It offered improved handling and a more engaging driving experience compared to the base Cortina models. The modifications to the suspension and chassis provided a sportier feel, making driving more enjoyable. However, these improvements were not enough to elevate the XR6 to true muscle car status, which makes it to be remembered as an earnest but ultimately unsuccessful attempt to create a sporty version of the Cortina. Nine. Mitsubishi Sigma Turbo. The Mitsubishi Sigma Turbo, launched in the early 1980s, was Mitsubishi's effort to break into the performance car market. Marketed as a high-performance vehicle, the Sigma Turbo was equipped with a 2-litre turbocharged engine. However, despite its ambitious marketing, the car failed to deliver on its promises of impressive power and handling. The turbocharged engine produced around 115 horsepower, which was quite modest for a car billed as a performance vehicle. This power output was insufficient to provide the thrilling acceleration and top speeds that muscle car enthusiasts expected. The Sigma Turbo's performance was further hampered by its relatively heavy body, which made the car feel sluggish and unresponsive. Handling was another area where the Sigma Turbo was a disappointment. Despite the addition of a turbocharger, the car's suspension and chassis setup were not adequately tuned to handle the increased power. This resulted in poor handling characteristics, especially in corners, where the car felt unstable and lacked precision. The combination of modest power and lackluster handling made the Sigma Turbo a rather uninspiring drive. Styling also played a role in the Sigma Turbo's failure to resonate with muscle car fans. While it featured some sporty touches, such as alloy wheels and a rear spoiler, the overall design remained quite conservative and unremarkable. The car's appearance did not convey the aggressive and dynamic image that performance car buyers typically look for. The Mitsubishi Sigma Turbo stands as a rather odd choice for a muscle car. Its unimpressive power, poor handling, and conservative styling made it a weak contender in the performance car market. 10. Holden Commodore VL Calais Director. The Holden Commodore VL Calais Director, produced by HDT Special Vehicles, represents a fascinating and controversial chapter in Australian automotive history. Released in the late 1980s, this model was developed under the guidance of the legendary Peter Brock. It featured polarising styling and became associated with a tumultuous period for Holden. The car was equipped with extensive aerodynamic enhancements, including a unique body kit, integrated spoilers, and custom wheels. While these modifications were intended to improve performance and handling, many found the styling to be excessive and unappealing. The aggressive bodywork, combined with bold paint schemes, made the director stand out, but not always in a positive way. Under the hood, the Calais director was powered by a 5-litre V8 engine, delivering a robust performance that matched its sporty looks. However, the car's technical advancements were often overshadowed by more controversy surrounding its production. One of the most significant issues was the energy polarizer device, a pseudo-scientific component developed by Brock. This device was claimed to enhance the car's handling through argon energy, but it was widely dismissed by engineers and experts as ineffective. The inclusion of the energy polarizer led to a major fallout between Brock and Holden, culminating in Brock's departure from HDT special vehicles. Today, enthusiasts appreciate the car's unique place in Australian muscle car history and its connection to Brock. However, the styling and the controversial energy polarizer often make it a subject of debate. It remains a distinctive and intriguing model in the annals of Australian muscle cars, reflecting both the highs and lows of innovation in the automotive industry.